All right. Y'all asked for it. Much better. Yeah. What's up and welcome back to Gabe Miller Music. Today we're making beats from scratch on the Elektron Syntakt. I'm going to try to tackle multiple different styles and explore the various sounds this thing is capable of. So without any further introduction, let's jump into it. All right, so on my first video on the Syntakt, I started with the digital kick. This time I want to start out with the analog kick. Maybe just tune it a full octave down. Don't forget, we've got 3 different waveforms to choose from. I want to keep the tick subtle. So let me just adjust the scale before I do anything else. Crank this all the way up to 64. And just punch in something 4 on the floor for now. And slow this down a bit is what I'm thinking. So let's just do 90 BPM for now. I'm taking massive inspiration from Clipping's Visions of Bodies Being Burned for this first beat. I think this box could handle that style very well. So I need this tone in here to be a little less defined. That noise sounds nice. I want to keep the overdrive subtle for this one, I think. See, this is definitely too metallic by default. I might LFO this right here. I think that could be dope. So let's just do something simple. So this is our decay. Let's go to LFO 1, send our destination to decay. Send this to something else while we're at it. Tune. Ratio could be fun. And then overall, quick bit of mixing housekeeping. Remember, your hi-hats are always too loud. So we need a more defined groove, is what we're really missing here. So we need something a little more aggressive. That might clash a bit. It just takes over everything. I like the detune, what it's doing to this. Rein that in a bit. And then, see that phasiness there is really nice. And it fluctuates a bit, which is fine. We can allow it to be a little unpredictable. As a treat. Kind of like the aggression there. I'm going to leave that subtle, and I'm going to leave the bounced untouched. Let's go into our filter, and I'm just going to go for the bog standard pluck. Crank that envelope. The trademark Elektron filter sound. That sounds kind of dorky. We're getting dangerously close into dad beats territory, boys. Let's just do it anyway. Okay, that will work for now. So let's get some reverb on this. Not like that. The first thing I want to do, as always, is set the delay to be ping-ponging. Sounds like a swarm of bees. So those high notes don't sound great. So what I'm going to do is just modify those specific trigs. So let's go into the 4th bar. So I think what these need is the amp to be extended. So a longer release on this. Let's just hear how that sounds. I don't know if it saved it. Maybe we get more reverb up in here? A little more delay. Almost wonder if we need to like LFO something to make this a little more dynamic. I think you need more overdrive. Very dangerous what I'm doing right now. See, now I regret making those last notes so long. Just reset that. We back off on that one. Which, by the way, to reset an automated trig parameter, just press on the offending knob. That's kind of nasty. That's a little more like it. So let's keep building. This needs a bass. Ooh. Ow. It's almost more of a percussive element than anything else. Let's just make this fit in the mix now. Cool. Let's just leave this off for now. Let's get a clap in here. And I want that tune. Basically not at all. Nice. So I'm on a roll now. That's better an octave down. Something about this just not hitting right. Do we just kind of bury this in the background? I know I'm kind of wasting my tracks, but once again, I'm still very much in the phase of just trying to get a feel for this thing. Uh-oh. My face camera battery died. Depending on what you think of my face, that's a good or a bad thing. Okay, up next, let's try something with the chord engine. I need something to fill this out. So this... it's kind of spoopy. So why don't we move the waveform around very subtly? That's a good, subtle-ish amount. Filter, you'll never guess what I'm gonna do here. Ooh. I need to hit this with our main melody, I think. All right, it is a few days later. I've got my matcha and some new ideas, so let's get back into it. All right, so after the other day's session, I went back and listened to the beat and determined that it's actually pretty hype, but that bass line is really not doing it for me. So this is what we've got. This is our foundation, and I want to see if I can build on it a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do is re-engage the chord engine and have it do something a little more minimal, potentially. So what if we just crank this release, crank the reverb, crank the delay, and just let it be kind of big and spooky. So let's open up another track. So this is the problem child. And I sort of want to nuke this whole sound and try again. So let's do this. Let's just select a new machine entirely. That's interesting. I feel like that could work. But in order for it to work, we need this to basically be completely different in every way. I like that little delay, though. So maybe... Oh, that's kind of spoopy. So let's try something real quick. I'm going to save this so I can go back on it if I need to. Now, what I want to do is some parameter locks on a couple of these notes to elongate them. So like this note, I want it to ring out a lot. So let's go to my amp. Let's just crank the release and let's just hear how that sounds. Let's do the same for the filter. Hell, maybe we do this. So that's a bit much. Let's go to our trigger settings. Let's send this down an octave. Okay, we're going somewhere with this. Filter. I want to send this way out. Okay, this is going in a direction that I like. Crank the resonance. We're just going to parameter lock literally everything. And then we're going to do something similar for that other note. This is going somewhere. Also, you might be wondering why not just layer stuff. For one thing, because I just want to like test out features of this and exploit the parameter locks. For another thing, because I've used up all my analog tracks already, so I just have to make the most of this one. Crank the release. Crank the release. Maybe just keep cranking the release and call it a day. All right, so what tracks do we have left? Okay, so those are kind of taken up. That's taken up. So we have 2 more tracks to play with, more or less. I'm sure we could move some stuff around, but synth bits, chord, tone. Let's do another tone. So I need something just mad aggressive, like kind of a meow. But I don't want that sizzly bit. That was deep. I'm gonna get rid of that nasty attack. Oh, this is kind of tight. You'll never guess what we're about to do with this filter. It'll be a complete surprise, nothing like we've ever done before. Okay, that's sick. That's nasty. Disgusting. So now we just gotta control the attack time. Listen to this. So then we go up. And then we turn this note down after we've recorded it. So activate this. Go to our amp and just turn that way down. So these 2 synths are kind of trading notes in a way, which is kind of tight. I'd probably sidechain these both pretty heavily to the kick in post if I was to record this via overbridge. I still have another track, don't I? What if we did an ARP? Because I'm not using this bass at all. I'm not using this kick, am I? Nope. So let's change my machine out. Let's try toy. Maybe a little too magically and plinky for this, but let's just roll with it for now. That could be kind of cool. It sounds stupid. Yeah, let's switch to the machine. This toy one's not happening for this part. So that's a little more frenetic. That's kind of the energy I'm going for here. Ooh, cool. So those last notes aren't doing it for me, but the tone of this is exactly right. It's a lot more scratchy and frenetic and a little bit off-putting. So I just need to redo those last notes. This takes it in like a more John Carpenter direction. Like I feel like I picked up a John Carpenter sound in there somewhere, but I like this so much better. Like this really elevates the whole ass beat. All right, awesome. Well, now that we've rescued this video from the depths of oblivion, let's make a second beat. And that punch is just something else. Right there. And let's set this to 64, as is tradition. Accept that. And let's just go for it. So let's just make something stupid punchy. Kind of like that. Maybe right there. I think that might be the move. So then a big old clap to kind of balance that out in a way. Rein it in a little bit. See, the reverb sounding kind of unflattering in this case actually totally works. Okay, so I don't want that to be so harmonic. So what if we do a little parameter lockage? This one is a little shorter, and this one just rings out for ages upon ages. And then we need another little like offbeat snare. That's fine for now. We might come back to this later. Okay, so we desperately need a hi-hat in here. That's a little better. Something about this hi-hat engine is just a little off. I'm not sure if that's a hot take or not, but it is my take. Just stupid short. Sure. So here's the thought. Do we want to send this through the like master analog saturator? I think we'll maybe try that in a little bit here. That might be kind of fun. So here's what I want next. Let me turn off this metronome. So this hi-hat's going to be nice and static. This hi-hat, which is not yet a hi-hat, but it will become a hi-hat soon enough. Ugh. So this is not a hi-hat, is this? It is. Okay, so I just struggled a bit loading in a second hi-hat, I needed to set this amp mode to this right here to match this. When it was set to, it sounded very harsh. So that's better. Essentially, I'm just trying to make a super basic hi-hat, and it kind of almost doesn't matter what it sounds like. Okay, it matters a little bit. I need you to be able to hear its pitch changing. Because my brilliant plan is to make some hi-hat ratchets with pitch modulation. I think that's as good as it's going to get. Let's just do this. So now, let's go into our record. That sounds kind of harsh and gross right now, but we'll get there. Now, the fun part. LFO. Set our destination to tune. Turn the speed up a bit. Something about this is just not sounding right to me. Not sure what it is. Okay, so here's the deal. This is not working. This idea, I thought this was going to be really easy, and it sounds kind of like doo-doo. I'm just going to bury it in the mix. And call it a day. This worked much better on the Digitakt. I'm very intentionally leaving this into the video because I want to show you my honest experience. So far, my experience has been one of, I love all the sounds this can create. This thing is super fun. But there's just some weird little barriers to creating some more traditional sounds still. Because yeah, that just sounds kind of like doo-doo. And it could just be user error, of course, but let's try to redeem the VCO, shall we? So I'm not going to change anything about the oscillator. I'm going to leave it as is. See, that's a more kind of traditional synth right there. That's fun. Also, while I'm thinking about it, let's just do this. I gotta say, I do really like this kind of big ol' cymbal. Maybe I should try to hi-hatify this at some point. That's kind of cool. Basically, all of our sounds are just like the punchiest, like sharp-edged sounds I could possibly get. So that's way too loud. This is kind of nice. Here we go. Some good frickin' synth stuff. So now we automate delay via our parameter locks. So we let this one be just all delayed as much as its little heart wants. And then we keep this one a little more restrained. So we turn this one up a bit. We turn this one down a bit. You know what would really bring these sounds to life is ping-ponging my delay. We can't even hear my hi-hat rolls anymore, so maybe I turn those up just a little bit. Okay, so we're definitely getting somewhere with this. This is definitely getting into some kind of like drift funk territory. It's not like literally that, but it's getting, at least in my mind, somewhat the vibe. So I'm thinking of actually having this 808 kind of follow the analog synth line. So right on this one. Let's try it. That works a little better, I think. Makes it a little more interesting. We're getting somewhere with this. Drinking game, take a shot every time I say we're getting somewhere with this. You'll be wasted. What else do we want to add? So I'm probably not going to use this kick this time because I'm using the digital kick for balance. You know, we used the analog kick on the last beat, so we're using the digital kick on this beat. Let's see about swapping this machine out then. There's so many bass drum machines in here that listen to that. That sounds so nice. Holy shit. The best part of Elektron's synth devices that I've tried are always the kicks. Like that sounds so good. So what I want is another analog, just kind of standard synth, because we're going to turn this into a pluck of some sort. We got it. Okay, so I'm going to save this so I can undo this next thing if I have to. But what I want to do next is detune this so that one synth oscillator is an octave higher. Okay, so that's not better, but what is better is just having both oscillators match. So maybe we just detune them a tiny bit. So here's the fun part. If we mute all of those really hard-edged sounds, there's just this really nice little analog synth section. Then we bring back in the kind of more modern stuff. So, a couple of beats under our belt, some new Syntakt stuff learned. I'm going to spend a bunch more time off camera to really dig into this thing and come back with some thoughts for a proper review. But in the meantime, if you want to check out some more videos, you can click or tap up over here. And of course, I'll be back with a new one in a little bit. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. My feet are falling asleep. I've been sitting too long. I'm going to contract deep vein thrombosis.